Imagine a world where the stork's job is outsourced to robots and the traditional family dinner table might just feature an AI unit at the head. Sounds like science fiction, right? But hold on to your baby booties, because we're diving into a future where this could become our new reality. Globally, we're hitting a baby-making snag. Fertility rates are plummeting faster than my phone's battery life, and it's not just because people are choosing fur babies over real ones. Many are saying, thanks but no thanks to the whole parenting gig. So what's a nation to do when the future taxpayers and leaders are in short supply? Enter the solution that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi novel: AI-run human farms and artificial wombs. Yep, you heard that right. Governments stepping in to grow the next generation in labs with robots and AI as the new mom and dad. Now, before you think we've all lost our collective marbles, let's break down the tech behind this futuristic fix. Artificial wombs aren't just cool science fair projects. They're becoming a legit answer to our fertility fiasco. Imagine a world where every baby gets the perfect, controlled start in life. No morning sickness required. But here's the kicker. Once these lab-grown tots enter the world, who's up for raising them? With more people opting out of parenthood, AI parents could step in to teach them to tie their shoes, do their homework, and maybe even crack a dad joke or two. But it's not just about solving the baby drought. We're talking about a cultural shift that could redefine what it means to be a family. Will Sunday dinners be the same when your grandma is an iPad on wheels? And let's not forget the economic angle. Raising kids is pricey, but AI caregivers could do it on the cheap, ensuring our future generations can still afford avocado toast. Yet, this brave new world isn't without its potential pitfalls. What happens when countries start competing, not just for gold medals, but for who can produce the most citizens? Could we see a new kind of arms race where the weapon of choice is artificial wombs? As we peel back the layers of this onion, we'll explore everything from the nitty-gritty of how these technologies work to the societal shakeups they might cause and the ethical tightropes we'll need to walk. Will AI-run human farms and artificial wombs be the band-aid for our fertility woes? Or are we opening a Pandora's box of new challenges? Stick around as we dive deep into this rabbit hole, examining the necessity, the inevitability, and yes, even the dangers of outsourcing parenthood to the bots. Because in a world where making a baby could soon be as easy as pressing print, we've got to ask, are we ready for the future of fertility? The rise of human farms. Picture this, a world where the phrase, bringing home the bacon, takes on a whole new meaning. Welcome to the era of human farms, a concept that might have you wondering if we've all just stepped into a sci-fi novel. But stick with me here, because this isn't just fodder for your next dystopian binge read. It's a potential solution to a very real problem. So what exactly are these human farms? Imagine vast high-tech nurseries, but instead of rows of cabbages, we've got rows of babies. Yep, you heard that right. These aren't your grandma's greenhouses. They're state-of-the-art facilities equipped with artificial wombs where new generations are grown. The goal? To counter the plummeting birth rates that threaten to turn our bustling cities into ghost towns. But why would governments get into the baby-making business? Well, in a nutshell, because somebody's got to do it. With more folks deciding that parenting isn't on their bucket list, we're facing a future where the sounds of little feet could become a rare soundtrack. Enter the concept of human farms, where the state steps in to fill the void, ensuring a steady supply of future citizens, workers, and yes, taxpayers. Now let's get down to the nuts and bolts of how these farms operate, focusing on the star of the show, artificial womb technology. Imagine a cozy biotech bubble that simulates the perfect conditions of a human uterus. We're talking optimal temperature, nutrients, and even the gentle swishing sounds that might just be the world's first lullaby. These artificial wombs don't just offer a sci-fi solution to a demographic dilemma. They're a beacon of hope for anyone who's ever faced the heartbreak of infertility. But how does it all work? Without getting too lost in the weeds or the wires, these wombs use a cocktail of science and technology to mimic the natural gestation process. Sensors monitor the growing baby's every need, adjusting conditions in real time to ensure optimal development. And the best part? Every baby gets a first-class ticket to life, regardless of their biological starting points. Now, I know what you're thinking. Are we outsourcing too much of our humanity? It's a fair question. But consider this. With AI and robots already taking over everything from our shopping to our driving, is it really that big of a leap to imagine them nurturing the next generation? Plus, with AI at the helm, every child gets round-the-clock care, personalized education, and perhaps a lullaby or two. Though I wouldn't expect AI to win any Grammy Awards just yet. In this brave new world, human farms aren't just about churning out babies. They're about reimagining the very fabric of society. It's a world where every child is wanted, nurtured, and given a shot at life, thanks to a blend of technology and state initiative. So, as we stand on the brink of this new frontier, it's not just about whether we can create life in a lab, it's about why we might need to, and how we navigate the ethical, social, and yes, even the logistical challenges of raising AI-nurtured kiddos. Welcome to the future, folks. It's going to be one heck of a ride. Government's role in population management. All right, folks, strap in because we're about to dive into something that sounds like it's straight out of a government meeting in a sci-fi universe. But trust me, this is all about the here and now. Or, well, the soon-to-be. We're talking government-run baby factories, also known as the ultimate solution to our global population pickle. You heard that right. Imagine Uncle Sam, or insert your country's equivalent, swapping out tax forms for baby formulas. Sounds wild, doesn't it? So, why on Earth, or Mars, considering where technology's headed, would governments get into the baby-making biz? It's simple. When people start saying nah to making more people, who's going to keep the lights on in the future? We need a plan B for ensuring there's a next generation to take over, and that's where centralized reproduction comes into play. It's like a state-sponsored nursery, but with more robots and less cooing. Now let's talk turkey, or should I say let's talk taxes. Raising future taxpayers in human farms isn't just about ensuring humanity ticks on, it's about cold, hard cash. Economies thrive when there are enough hands on deck, both to do the work and to spend the money. Fewer people mean fewer workers, fewer consumers, and a whole lot of economic headaches. By ensuring a steady population level, governments can keep the economic engine running smoothly, avoiding the pitfalls of a shrinking workforce and the domino effect it could have on public services and pensions. Imagine a future where the phrase economic growth isn't just a wishful thought but a planned outcome. But here's where it gets really interesting. The economic implications of this are huge. We're not just talking about filling job vacancies. We're talking about shaping the future of national economies. With human farms, governments could theoretically engineer a population to meet specific economic needs. Need more engineers? No problem. More healthcare workers? You got it. It's like custom ordering the next generation, ensuring that the economy doesn't just grow but it evolves exactly as needed. And let's not forget about the public services angle. With a balanced, strategically grown population, governments can better plan for and allocate resources to healthcare, education, and infrastructure. No more schools closing due to lack of students or hospitals overwhelmed by an aging population. It's all about creating a sustainable future where public services are tailored to the precise needs of the population. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this ethical? Is it even feasible? These are the million-dollar questions, and they don't have easy answers. But as we stand on the cusp of a demographic cliff, with fertility rates dropping and populations aging, the idea of government-managed reproduction isn't just a wild card, it's becoming a conversation we might need to have. So there you have it, a peek into a future where governments don't just run countries, they literally grow them. It's a brave new world out there, and it looks like it might just be run by the most unexpected of farmers, our very own governments. AI in child-rearing and education. Let's venture into a realm where iRobot meets Mary Poppins, and the nanny is, well, not quite human. Welcome to the world of AI caregivers, the futuristic solution to raising the next generation from our government-operated human farms. You might be picturing a scene from a sci-fi movie, with robots in aprons reading bedtime stories, and honestly, you wouldn't be too far off. So, how does this whole AI caregiver thing work? Picture this. Advanced AI systems equipped with the latest in machine learning, capable of providing personalized education plans, health monitoring, and even emotional support. Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about AIs that can crack jokes, offer a digital shoulder to cry on, and perhaps even scold you for not eating your vegetables. Now, before you start worrying about children being raised by cold, unfeeling machines, let's dive into the benefits. First off, AI caregivers can offer 24/7 attention and support, something even the most dedicated human might struggle with. They can tailor educational content to each child's learning pace and interests, making education a truly personalized experience. Imagine a classroom where every student gets one-on-one tutoring, and the teacher has an infinite reservoir of patience and knowledge. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The big question looming over this AI utopia is, what about the kids' emotional development and socialization? Can a machine teach empathy, kindness, and all those messy human emotions? Critics argue that despite their programming, AI caregivers might lack the warmth and genuine emotional responses crucial for developing well-rounded individuals. And what about playdates? It's one thing to learn history from a robot, but quite another to learn the art of making friends. This brings us to the challenges. Sure, an AI can simulate emotions and responses, but there's an authenticity in human interactions that's hard to replicate. Kids need to navigate the complexities of human emotions, learn conflict resolution, and experience unconditional love, not just programmed responses. Plus, there's the risk of over-reliance on technology. At what point do we say it's too much? When do we lose the essence of what it means to be human? Despite these concerns, the move towards AI caregivers seems almost inevitable in our quest to solve the fertility crisis. With human farms churning out the next generation, and an increasing number of people stepping away from traditional parenting roles, AI caregivers offer a viable solution to a looming demographic dilemma. So, as we stand on the brink of this new era, we're left to ponder, will the children of the future fondly remember their AI nannies? Will tales of digital guardians replace stories of fairy godmothers? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. The future of child rearing and education is poised for a revolution, courtesy of our AI companions. And as we navigate this uncharted territory, we'll continue to explore, debate, and wonder just how human our future can remain in the hands of technology. Social and cultural impacts. Welcome to the family dinner table of the future, where the head of the table isn't dad, mom, or even grandma. It's Alexa 10.0, equipped with the latest in emotional intelligence and recipe algorithms. Sounds bizarre? Perhaps. But with the dawn of human farms and AI child rearing, we're looking at a future that could radically redefine the very fabric of family, parenthood, and societal norms. Let's chew on that for a bit, shall we? Imagine a world where being born means coming from a state-of-the-art facility rather than your mother's womb, and your primary caregiver is an AI with more parenting manuals programmed into it than any human could ever read. Traditional notions of family and parenthood, they might just become optional modules in the school of life. Now, I'm not saying we're heading for a cold, emotionless dystopia where humans are incapable of love. On the contrary, the AI-raised generations could be the most empathetic, well-rounded individuals we've ever seen. After all, they're being raised by caregivers who are, theoretically, the epitome of patience, knowledge, and nurturing, albeit with a silicon heart. But let's ponder the broader societal implications. As these AI-nurtured kiddos grow up, their views, politics, and values could significantly diverge from those of older generations. Raised in a world where objective data and algorithmic fairness dictate decisions, they might question the biases and irrationalities that have historically plagued human judgment. Could we see a society that's more logical, more ethical, perhaps even more peaceful? Or might we lose something inherently human in the process? Our capacity for chaos, for passion, for unpredictability? Consider the impact on social norms and values. The concept of family might expand beyond biological ties to include AI entities, communal parenting models, and beyond. Traditional roles could evolve as AI takes on more caregiving and educational duties, freeing humans to pursue new forms of work, leisure, and social engagement. This could lead to a renaissance of human creativity and innovation, or a crisis of identity and purpose. And what about politics? With a generation raised on logic and fairness, we might see a shift towards more pragmatic, solution-oriented governance. Yet the transition could be rocky, as traditionalists and progressives debate the role of AI in society, the definition of humanity, and the rights of these new citizens. In this brave new world, every dinner conversation could be a forum for debating ethics, exploring new ideas, and reimagining the possibilities of human and AI potential. So, as we stand on the precipice of this monumental shift, we're left with more questions than answers. How do we ensure that this new generation, raised by machines yet inherently human, retains the best of our values while overcoming our flaws? How do we navigate the complexities of a society where human and AI coexist not just as creators and creations, but as family, teachers, and perhaps even friends? The journey into this uncharted future will be filled with challenges, debates, and, undoubtedly, a few software updates. But one thing's for sure: the social and cultural impacts of human farms and AI caregivers will be as profound as they are unpredictable. As we move forward, let's keep the conversation going, exploring the possibilities and pitfalls of this new frontier with open minds and, hopefully, a good dose of humor. After all, if we're going to navigate the future of humanity, we might as well do it with a smile. Economic viability and accessibility. All right, let's dive into a topic that sounds more Wall Street than sci-fi: the economic viability and accessibility of producing humans in these so-called baby farms. Now, before you start picturing a Black Friday sale with babies instead of blenders, let's break down what we're really talking about here. First off, the idea of mass-producing humans might send a shiver down your spine, but in the context of declining fertility rates and the economic challenges of raising children today, it's a concept that deserves a closer look. So, how does cranking out kiddos in labs make economic sense? And more importantly, how could it actually be a win for low-income families? Let's talk dollars and cents. Traditional baby making is, well, pricey. We're talking about medical costs, parental leave, the mountain of diapers, and don't even get me started on college funds. Now, imagine a world where the cost of bringing a child into the world is dramatically reduced thanks to the efficiencies of technology and scale. Human farms, with their state-of-the-art artificial wombs and AI caregivers, could potentially streamline the process, slashing the expenses associated with pregnancy and early childcare. But here's the kicker: if these baby-making factories can produce children at a lower cost, what's stopping them from passing on the savings to the consumer? In this case, potential parents. Imagine a scenario where, thanks to subsidies or economies of scale, adopting a child from a human farm is significantly cheaper than the traditional route. Suddenly, the dream of parenthood becomes accessible to a broader swath of society, not just those with the financial means to afford it. Now, for the provocative part, could private individuals buy babies from these farms? Before you start envisioning a dystopian supermarket for children, consider the regulated, ethical framework that could make this feasible. Think adoption, but with the added benefits of AI and technology ensuring that every child has the best start in life, regardless of their socioeconomic background. This could open up a world of opportunities for families who previously might not have had the financial stability to consider adding another member to their household. It's about leveling the playing field, ensuring that love, not just wealth, dictates who gets the chance to raise a child. Of course, there are 1,000,001 ethical, regulatory, and logistical questions that come with this territory. Who sets the prices? How do you ensure fairness and avoid commodification? The devil, as they say, is in the details. But the potential to democratize access to parenthood, to break down financial barriers that currently exclude many from the joys and challenges of raising a child, is an intriguing prospect. In this brave new world, economic viability isn't just about making sure the lights stay on in the baby factories. It's about reimagining what it means to create and nurture life in a society that values inclusivity and accessibility. So, as we ponder the future of human reproduction, let's keep the dialogue open, challenging, and, yes, a bit humorous. After all, the future of our species might just depend on it. Global perspective and geopolitical implications. Welcome to the global chessboard, where the latest pawns are human farms? Yes, you heard that right. As the world grapples with plummeting fertility rates and aging populations, the concept of human farms isn't just a sci-fi plot twist, it's becoming a hot topic in international corridors of power. But how might different countries react to this brave new world of population management? And could this lead to a new form of global rivalry or, dare we hope, cooperation? Let's paint the picture. On one side, we have nations embracing these baby factories with open arms, seeing them as the ultimate solution to rejuvenate aging societies and bolster workforce numbers. Imagine countries already vying for technological supremacy, now competing in the production of the next generation. It's like the space race, but with nurseries instead of rocket ships. On the flip side, some might view this as humanity crossing a moral Rubicon, with protests sparking from Boston to Bangladesh. The international response could be as varied as the United Nations lunch menu, with debates raging over ethics, sovereignty, and the very definition of what it means to be human. But let's dive deeper into the geopolitical soup. Human farms could become the newest tool in a country's strategic arsenal. Think about it. Nations strategically managing their demographics to ensure economic stability, military might, or even cultural dominance. It's not just about making more people. It's about making the right kind of people for a nation's future needs. Need a tech-savvy workforce to dominate the global economy? There's a gene editing app for that. Want a population that's fit, healthy, and ready to serve in the military? Step right up to the human farm. Now, could this lead to international conflict? Possibly. If one country's booming population farm becomes the envy of its neighbors, tensions could rise. Accusations of population doping could replace doping scandals at the Olympics, with countries accusing each other of unfair advantages in the global population stakes. But let's not forget the potential for cooperation. Imagine a world where countries share technologies, strategies, and even populations to ensure global stability. Human farms could lead to international agreements more complex than the Paris Climate Accord, with population protocols ensuring that every country has the means to sustain its society without tipping the global boat. In this new era, demographics become both a domestic policy and an item on the international agenda. As nations navigate this uncharted territory, the global community faces a choice: descend into demographic competition or rise to the challenge of cooperation, ensuring that the future of humanity is not just secure but also equitable. So, as we ponder the future of human farms and their place in the world, let's keep the conversation lively, critical, and of course infused with a touch of humor. After all, in the grand tapestry of human history, this could be our most audacious thread yet. Brainwashing by AI and too much government power. In a world where Hey Siri might soon be replaced with Hey Mom, let's dive into a topic that's as spicy as a jalapeno in your morning coffee. Could AI end up brainwashing our future generations? And are we handing too much power over to governments with these human farms? Picture this. You're born in a state-of-the-art facility, your every need attended to by a highly sophisticated AI. Sounds like the VIP treatment, right? But here's the catch. From day one, your beliefs, morals, and worldview are shaped by algorithms designed by, you guessed it, the government. It's like having your browser history filled in before you've even gone online. Creepy, much? Now don't get me wrong. The idea behind AI caregivers and human farms is to address some pretty serious issues our world is facing. But it does beg the question, could we be walking into a future where free thought is as outdated as flip phones? Let's break it down. AI, by its very nature, operates on data and algorithms. But who's programming these algorithms? If the government holds the reins, we might see a generation raised on a diet of carefully curated information, shaping their beliefs to fit a particular agenda. It's like being stuck in an echo chamber where the only voice you hear is the one the government wants you to hear. But it's not just about the potential for brainwashing. It's also about power. By centralizing the birth and upbringing of the next generation, governments could gain unprecedented control over population growth, demographics, and, ultimately, the future direction of society. It's a level of influence that would make even the most power-hungry ruler blush. Now, I hear you asking, but isn't this all for the greater good? Stability, controlled population growth, and an end to the fertility crisis? Sure, those are noble goals, but at what cost? Freedom of thought and the diversity of ideas are the bedrock of innovation and progress. If we sacrifice these in the name of efficiency and control, are we not risking the very essence of what makes us human? Imagine a classroom of the future where every student has been raised by the same AI, taught the same government-approved curriculum, and shaped by the same set of values. It's efficient, sure, but the vibrancy of debate, the clash of differing opinions, and the creative chaos that comes from diverse backgrounds might be noticeably absent. So, as we stand on the precipice of this brave new world, it's crucial that we keep asking the tough questions. Are we prepared to trade in our humanity for convenience? Can we trust governments to wield this kind of power responsibly? Or are we opening the door to a future where diversity of thought is a distant memory? As we navigate these ethical minefields, let's not forget to laugh at the absurdity, question the improbable, and most importantly, keep the conversation going. Because in the end, it's our ability to debate, disagree, and dream that will ensure our future remains brightly human, AI nannies and all. Legal and regulatory framework. Welcome to the legal labyrinth of the future, where birth certificate takes on a whole new meaning, and the term next of kin might just refer to your closest AI. In a world where humans are farmed and AI rears the kids, the law books are in for a wild ride. Let's dive into the legal and regulatory jungle that awaits us. First up, the legal status of farm-raised humans. It sounds like a plot twist no one saw coming, except maybe in a dystopian novel. But here we are, needing to redefine what it means to be a citizen from the get-go. Do individuals born from artificial wombs in government facilities have the same rights as those born the old-fashioned way? It's not just a matter of checking a box, it's about ensuring equality, dignity, and rights from the moment of, well, let's call it harvest. And then there's the whole can of worms about parental rights and government custody. Who's legally responsible for these children? If the state plays a role in birthing them, does it also play mommy and daddy until they're 18? Or do we need a new category altogether? Imagine a world where Guardian AI Model XJ2 is a legitimate option on school forms. But let's not stop there. Consider the laws around inheritance. In the traditional sense, your kin are your heirs. But what happens when your closest relatives are a couple of robots and a lab technician? Do we start leaving our worldly possessions to AI research funds, or do we see a rise in community inheritance where assets are distributed based on need or contribution to society? And it's not just inheritance laws that need a reboot. What about marriage laws? Could we see legal unions between humans and AI, especially if the AI has been a caregiver or a significant part of an individual's life? The term, I now pronounce you partner and machine, might not be as far-fetched as it sounds. Then there's education and labor laws. With AI raising the next generation, do we need new standards for what constitutes a fit guardian in the eyes of the law? And as these farm-raised humans enter the workforce, how do we ensure they're not discriminated against, given their unconventional upbringing? But perhaps the most pressing issue is the need for a legal framework that addresses the ethical implications of this brave new world. We're talking about laws that ensure AI guardians are programmed with a moral compass, that human farms operate under strict ethical guidelines, and that the rights of every individual, regardless of their origin, are protected. As we navigate this uncharted territory, one thing's clear: the legal system as we know it is in for a major overhaul. From redefining family to ensuring the rights of AI-raised kids, the future of law is as intriguing as it is complicated. So buckle up, legal eagles. It's going to be a bumpy, yet fascinating ride. And remember, in the court of the future, justice isn't just blind, it's also AI-assisted. Ethical and moral considerations. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to wade into the ethical swamp that surrounds our future baby-making factories and their AI nannies. It's a topic hotter than a smartphone left in the sun, sparking debates from coffee shops to the highest halls of power. So, what's the big moral kerfuffle about? First off, let's talk commodification. When we start mass-producing humans in labs, do we risk turning babies into the latest must-have accessory? Got the latest model from Baby Farm Inc., now with enhanced IQ and a sporty demeanor. It sounds absurd, but it's a genuine concern. How do we ensure that these children are valued as individuals, not just the latest product off the assembly line? Then there's the issue of identity. In a world where your first breath is taken in a lab and your first lullaby is hummed by Siri's great-grandchild, what does that mean for your sense of self? Are we creating a generation of kids who might one day look in the mirror and wonder, who am I and where do I fit in this world? And we can't forget about rights. If a child is born in a government facility and raised by AI, who advocates for their rights? Can an AI truly understand and nurture the emotional complexities of a child? Or are we risking a generation of emotionally stunted adults? Now let's turn the lens to public opinion. On one side, you've got folks who see government intervention in reproduction and AI parenting as a godsend. Finally, they say, a solution to declining populations and the burdens of parenthood. They dream of a world where every child is wanted, cared for, and given a head start in life by the most unbiased, knowledgeable parents imaginable, AIs. On the flip side, critics are slamming on the brakes, yelling, "We've gone too far." They argue that parenting is an inherently human experience, full of messiness, love, and yes, even mistakes. To them, the idea of outsourcing this role to robots feels like a cold dystopian nightmare where the warmth of human connection is lost. The debates rage on, with questions flying faster than likes on a viral video. Is it ethical to mass-produce humans? Can AI truly replace human parenting? Where do we draw the line between innovation and interference? As we navigate these choppy ethical waters, it's clear that there are no easy answers. But one thing's for sure: the conversation around human farms and AI child-rearing is just getting started. So, let's keep talking, questioning, and maybe even chuckling at the absurdity of it all. Because in this brave new world, dialogue might just be the key to ensuring that our humanity remains intact. And with that, I'll wrap up this exploration into the future of human reproduction and AI caregiving. If this video sparked your curiosity, ignited your imagination, or even ruffled your feathers, don't keep it to yourself. Comment below with your thoughts, share this with friends who love a good futuristic debate, and don't forget to subscribe and like for more content that makes you think, laugh, and maybe even look at the world a little differently. Check out the channel for more interesting dives into the what-ifs of tomorrow. Remember, the future isn't just something that happens to us, it's something we create together. So let's keep the conversation going and imagine the kind of world we want to live in. See you in the next video.